It is September 18th, 2017. We're here at 9813 Highdale Road in Santee, California, 92071. We're here on the front of the property where there are cleanouts, 4-inch ABS plastic cleanouts. We're going to go through the second cleanout, which will sweep back into the house. Going down this vertical pipe. And now transitioning back into the horizontal. So you got a little bit of a edge on the cast iron here where it was cut. There's a little bit of buildup on there, and this may not have been a completely straight cut. Shouldn't interfere with anything flowing by, again, because we're running our camera in the opposite way. Everything will be flowing through the line. So we're going to jump over that. So this is the original cast iron pipe. This is right near the foundation wall of the house. Okay, we have a large amount of some debris in the line there. We're going to have to kind of roll by that, and we're going to go ahead and pause the camera while we go ahead and flush that out. Okay, we flushed out the line several times. We'll see if we've got all that debris out of there. So, going back down the cast iron again. You can see there's just a lot of little buildup right here on the line of paper and debris. It's on the side walls, so shouldn't interfere with any type of drain movement, but looks like we've got some heavy buildup there. Okay, here you can see this is another little bit of debris hanging down here over the line. This is either something coming down from one of the drain lines. It could be the kitchen feed, so I think this is a bunch of food and fat and grease that's bunched up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pause the video while we run some water down the kitchen drain. Okay, so we ran the kitchen and we didn't get any water, so right now we're running in the hall bathroom, the tub, and the lavatory sink. So you can see we are getting the water coming through this pipe and moving by. So that's the few little bit of debris is just soap and suds and other hair and skin debris built up from this 2-inch that's from the drain lines from the bathroom, not from the kitchen. So you can see that's flowing through, so we're going to go ahead and shut the water off there. Okay, again, so you can see there's still that little debris hanging off. It's not going to cause a stoppage right now, but that will need to be snaked in the future. So as we jump through there, you can see, so some of these pipes were replaced with plastic ABS, probably when the shower pan was installed in that master bathroom, because we can see that that is plastic piping. So that was redone there with some plastic. So you can see my camera just moved some of that debris out of the way a little bit. So, and there's the rest of the heavier stuff right there. So that will require snaking. Doesn't need it right now. Everything is draining and flowing, but as you can see, it's blocking a good portion of the pipe. So that will eventually need to be snaked and cleared out. We're now going to go ahead and pause the video to pull our camera to go through the other clean out. Okay, so we've now pulled out of this clean out, and that swept towards the house. So now we're going to go from the clean out that will sweep away from the house, go down this ABS vertical, drop into the horizontal line. Okay, and right here we have the T-junction laying on its side to the right side there. That's where the bathroom that's in the garage as well as the kitchen and laundry appear to dump into. This is still all ABS 4-inch newer plastic pipe. Still plastic here, so they replaced quite a bit. Okay, here we have our transition into cast iron. So you can see the cast iron here has a lot of pitting and buildup on the bottom and the sides like the previous cast iron did, and that's what's causing this little damming and pooling of water on the bottom of the line here at the transition point. When the cast iron is cut like this, it needs to be routed out on the inside with carbide drill bits, literally like a Dremel style tool, to clean that up so that it's a slow ramp and a nice clean transition back into the cast. So it'll always be a little bit of a miniature uphill slope possibly, but you don't want a big wall like that that just hits. Again, this one's not huge, so it's, and we don't see obviously any feces or paper built up on this right here, so it's not terrible, but it could have been done a little bit better, but we don't foresee that it being a big problem right now, but just so you can see that. And then right here you can see in the upward of the cast iron, the top of the pipe, that's the original property line clean out for the house. So that's actually the original T-junction in the cast iron that's just before the city sidewalk and probably the end of the retaining wall that's here, where this horizontal pipe is now about to make a vertical downward turn. So we're now going down. And then here the vertical pipe is ending and we're retransitioning back into horizontal again. And right here at this transition, the cast iron is ending and we're now transitioning into 4-inch clay pipe. So that's why the pipe is kind of reddish in color. So now moving, we're probably under the sidewalk right now. There's a hub right there, it does look clean. Clean there. We're going to check all the hubs real close for root intrusions. Okay, so here you go, we have some roots intruding here. So this is why we take a good look at the clay pipe, because the clay is most susceptible for roots growing inside of it because it's just pushed together with a rubber boot. So you can see we've got some small roots on the upper right hand side there, literally just a couple starting to grow in the line. Take a snapshot photo of that. So we'll locate that, but we're going to continue to push down the line, see if there's any other intrusions or if they're heavy. So that one doesn't require any maintenance right now as far as snaking or hydrojetting. However, because there's roots in the line already, we know that it's little tiny roots right here. Same thing on the left-hand side, some small, one little one, and then some little tiny ones bundled up on the left side there. So very minor. I'll take a photo of that. So this will require a foaming chemical treatment to keep these at bay. That's what would be required. There's a national brand that plumbers use called Rudex, but homeowners can purchase a brand called Robic Foaming Root Killer. They sell it at Lowe's, some Home Depots, and some Ace Hardwares. So that needs to go down the line at least every 9 to 12 months. So basically about once a year, and that can keep the roots from growing in anymore and kill off what's there. So again, one little miniature tiny root growing on the top of this little hub right here. Very, very minor. Also doesn't require any maintenance at this time. Small little sag or belly in the line here, it possibly looks like what's. We've got a little bit of standing water in the clay pipe right here. Either that or we have a buildup or a blockage coming up here. That's why it's holding water. So we'll see when we push forward here what's causing this little hiccup. Still under a little bit of water. There, we've got some roots there, again, growing on the top of the pipe. Same as the other 3 intrusions. This is the 4th intrusion, but doesn't require any snaking or hydrojetting now. It's much too small and really not interfering with anything. So it looks like the pipe may have been put in with not real great proper slope, and why we've got this water hanging out in the line here. It's a very long run, so it looks like the clay pipe either settled lower or they just installed it slightly to the level side, and that's why we've got all this water hanging out in the line here. So you can see a little bit of roots on the right hand side there. Same thing, a very, very tiny amount. This is the small 5th intrusion. Back up here, show that. We've got some debris right here that just didn't move down the line because of the slope, so we're going to have to push that. And then as we back up here, you can see there's a larger intrusion compared to all the ones we've encountered so far. We're going to back up the line here and try to flush our lens off with some of this water here, clean it up. So that was the 4th intrusion. And here's the 5th intrusion. This is our largest one, so this is blocking approximately 20% of the pipe, but it's going in from the top, so same thing. Right now it's not going to interfere with the flow of anything through the system and wouldn't require anything to be done at it right now, but it will require the foaming chemical to get in there to really start hitting that so it doesn't grow in any larger. We're going to have to keep pushing all this feces and debris down the line here and then pull back. Okay, so we moved by that little tiny root there. I can't see if we made any transition or turns into the end of the line for this house. We did pass a couple small intrusions. We're going to run some water down the line here. Here's another intrusion here, and then we'll pull back. We just want to push down the rest of the system here and get some water down. That feces we had to run by there interfered with our viewing angle. It's like this branch run, we're pushing out extremely far. We probably have gotten to where it dumps into the common pipe here, because it does appear that we're out quite a long ways. So it looks like we are possibly in a larger clay pipe now. So we're going to pull back now, since that other debris inhibited our view for a while. So again, small root there. I believe we're farther out than the end of this house's lateral line, so we're going to pull back here. Okay, so there's a large intrusion right there. So we're just at about 100 feet. That's on the bottom side walls. Hub was clean. So you can see some small roots there. Very small root there. That hub is clean.
You guys gonna be back or
we were just gonna. I was dropping her off at her car, and I was gonna get food, so I should be back at 25 minutes. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, so it appears here's our dump, possibly into our turn into the larger city line. So you can see right there. So those other intrusions that we just passed and took photos of past this 84-foot mark, that is out into the common line in the street. So that other debris that we had passed up inhibited our view. So that's the T-junction right there. So right at about 80 feet out. And so you can see right there at that hub we have some small roots intruding there, very tiny. They are in the line. And then same thing right there, you can see in the upper right, a little bit bigger ball right there, roots intruding. And there's that one that we stopped at, and then we lost our view with the debris in the line. So this was the 5th intrusion, I believe, and then as we again lost our view, we kept pushing forward. So Looks like this is the 6th and 7th intrusion at this hub right here, and then at the last little hub right here, where it then transitions and dumps into the city line out in the street, where there are intrusions in that as well, but that's not the homeowner's responsibility. In Santee, the homeowner is responsible for all these root intrusions and the maintenance of the line, including the T-junction right here that we're at in the street. So right now it doesn't require, and it's never going to be required to be dug up and repaired or replaced, but again, the foaming chemical treatments are going to need to be done. And from the distance route right here of right at close to about 80 feet, because we have a few feet sticking out of the clean out, about 3 to 4 bottles are going to be required of the Robic brand chemical. One bottle can treat 25 feet of 4-inch pipe, so we're just past that 75-foot mark. So I would recommend the full 4 bottles to properly get the line treated. So each bottle is right around about $20 or just under $20 a bottle, so you're looking at about $80 a year, and the homeowner can do the treatment themselves. If not, then any plumber can come do it for their service call fee. So none of these intrusions are super heavy where we need to go ahead and locate those, because it's, again, not in a diggable area. It's past the sidewalk and in the street, and it is clay pipe, so that will last. We are going to pull back over and we'll locate the property line clean out, just so that that's marked off. Not ever really probably going to be needed because we have these 2 clean outs, but we'll pull back through there. Okay, so we'll pause the video and then we'll start back up when we get to that clean out. Okay, we've located this original property line clean out. It's about 3 feet in front of the retaining wall. It's about 3 feet 10 inches deep. We did mark the dirt grass there with a little bit of a green dot. And again, right in front of that is where the ABS ends. So essentially, there's ABS across the entire front lawn, except the few inches, of course, that's going back into the foundation wall of the house to go to the bathrooms, which you can't get to because it's under slab. And then at this last point right here, this is the T-junction for then the clean out, so that's why this was left, this little bit of cast iron here, and then it makes a vertical drop to go really deep and get under the sidewalk into the depth that the street line was stubbed out at. So that cast iron is fine, and should be fine for a long time, but we did again mark that in case at some point it ever became a problem. That's where it would need to be dug up, and then very deeply from there, and that retaining wall would have to be messed with to get to that depth to change it out. But again, we don't see that happening any time in the future. Only that clay needs to be maintained right now with the chemical treatment. So that concludes this recording.